I'm Lynn Jarvis, contributing editor for Across the Fence, and today I'm joined by WCX-TV Sharon Meyer, and today we'll follow the 620-mile Golden Triangle of India, so called because of the triangular shape of the major cities that we'll visit, that include Delhi, where we'll visit the Gandhi Museum, the pink city of Jaipur, and then on to Agra to see the Taj Mahal.
This will take us to the exotic and lush countryside where we're told we'll be stunned by the richness of the land and its ability to overload the senses with the pure, concentrated intensity of its colors, smells, tastes, and sounds.
After that 14-hour plane ride, we're happy to be here and begin our adventure with a walk through Old Delhi. It didn't take long to see that India is a land of contrast, confusion, and color in the streets. Saris, worn by the women, are bright purple, orange, yellow, and red, every color of the spectrum. Even the men dress in brightly patterned shirts that glow in the warm afternoon sun. It seems that in this land of 1.2 billion people, everyone is trying to find a way to be noticed. There is nothing more beautiful than seeing a group of women dressed in the colors of the rainbow as they walk past the camera. The markets are sensory overloads with the noise, crowds, and vendors selling everything imaginable. And I couldn't resist these silk scarves to bring home as gifts. And with so many beautiful choices, it was difficult to decide. You are immersed in the smell of spices that tickle your nose. The fragrance of flowers used for religious offerings floats through the air, and the tangy odor of plump, juicy oranges, apples, papayas, and pomegranates makes your mouth water, as does the aromatic Indian cuisine that is prepared from recipes that have been passed down through the generations. And don't be surprised to see cows everywhere in India. For in Hindu belief, they represent the divine and natural and are protected and venerated. This one, like hundreds of others, provide much needed milk and freely roam the streets as they please. It is the people that really reach inside you and touch your heart. And when traveling here, you soon learn to embrace the bad with the good. With a broad and ready smile, they are more than willing to help or accompany you to where you are going, and of course pose for a photo. This young man saw me filming from across the street, and to the right, you see him dodge through the traffic, bump into someone, then make his way into position for the perfect close-up. And most times, even the begging children and persistent street peddlers will respect your personal space and eventually take no for an answer. The streets and roads are a nightmare, consisting of every means of transportation imaginable: elephants, horse-drawn carts, bicycles, scooters, and rickshaws. Add to this old broken-down trucks with passengers loaded like cattle in the back, and an endless flow of trucks carrying goods and food, creating the most chaotic and dangerous traffic situations that anyone could possibly imagine. India inherited the British custom of driving on the left side of the road, but right or left, it doesn't matter here. Thankfully, though, there seem to be few major accidents because it is impossible to go over 30 miles an hour in such conditions. The contrast of rich and poor in India is stark. The country has the second largest population of billionaires, yet 75% of the people are living on less than $2 a day. Yet, because of the caste system in India and the Hindu belief in karma, the poor are a part of the cycle of life, meaning if poverty is your lot in life, that's how it's meant to be. It is what it is.
One of the most revered men in modern history is Mahatma Gandhi, leader of the Indian independence movement from British rule. Employing nonviolent civil disobedience, he led India to independence and inspired movements for civil rights and justice around the world. One of the most visited sites in New Delhi is the Birla House, where Gandhi spent the last 144 days of his life. His room is simple with whitewashed walls, a cotton mat and pillow, a bench, and his writing table. January 30th, 1948 was a busy day for the 78-year-old, and his 5 p.m. meeting with Sardar Patel, a close associate, was running long. Through the window, you see Gandhi's footsteps, where he took a shortcut across the lawn for his evening prayers. The crowd of several hundred parted to make way for his passage to the wooden platform. His assassin bowed low and said, "Namaste, Gandhi." As Gandhi returned the greeting, 3 shots were fired at point-blank range. Gandhi was heard to gasp, "I Ram, oh God," and slowly sank to the ground. Within seconds, he was dead. It was 5:17 p.m. It is one of those rare moments in travel where you can stand in a spot that changed the world. After 13 days of mourning, his cremation was witnessed by hundreds of thousands of grief-stricken Indians, all captured in this historic piece of film.
Gandhi was revered as a saint and as a liberator, and before all else, emotion held sway.
This is what the cremation site called Raj Ghat looks like today. It's a peaceful and tranquil area with a stone pathway around an eternal flame dedicated to the father of the independent nation of India. We asked our tour guide, Samir Banerjee, to comment on the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi.
But today, maybe he's not here alive in this world. This man is everywhere, in everybody's heart. Sir Martin Luther from Atlanta, he was the man who followed his path. Nelson Mandela, who is no more, he followed his path. But Mahatma Gandhi, what is special about him is that when he was given the Nobel Prize for Peace, he refused it. He said, I have done nothing great. What I have done, every human being should do it. For that, I don't need any recognition. That's what the story of Mahatma Gandhi, friends.
Besides the 3 major cities in the Golden Triangle, there are many interesting things to see along the way, like Chand Bayori in the small village of Ababeri. It is considered one of the oldest and deepest step wells in the world, dating back to 800 AD, with 3,500 narrow steps sinking 100 feet into the ground. This part of India is very dry, and the wells were built to conserve rainwater that fell during the monsoon season. Now artesian wells are used, as the green water attests. To the rear, there was a royal residence with rooms for the king and queen and a stage for the performing arts, all decorated with beautiful sculptures and religious carvings that I'm amazed haven't been carried off by looters years ago. 5 to 6 degrees cooler at the base, it was a place to escape the summer heat, and still is. Beside the well is a temple dedicated to the goddess of happiness, Harshat Mata. Though now in ruins, its beautiful craftsmanship is still visible. As we left, these 2 young entrepreneurs were performing for visitors. They have learned that this beats begging on the streets for a few coins. A few miles later, these colorful saris lying in the sun to dry caught our attention. Every color of the rainbow, it was a beautiful sight. It seems that some enterprising women were recycling used saris by sewing rips and tears to restore them to look as good as new. They were then bundled up, and one of the men loaded the precious cargo and headed for town with hopes of making a few rupees.
We're here in Jaipur, and before we tour the city of some 3 million people, we're going to view it from the 16th century Amber Fort high above the metropolis. And to get up the hill, guess what? We get to ride one of these elephants. It's a good idea to arrive early, as about 80 elephants are used to transport the many visitors up the steep hill to the fort. It wasn't long until my husband Rainey and I climbed aboard and were on our way.
Okay, wave goodbye.
Lynn and Marco Ayala, the video editor for our show today, followed close behind on a 20-year-old elephant named Arnukole. Sabuddin is their mahout, or driver of their elephant. Riding atop these elephants was like being in a small boat on a rough sea. Lynn told me later that he did experience some motion sickness.
There's a traffic jam up here.
Arnukole wasn't going to let a traffic jam stop her, and she charged ahead, giving Lynn and Marco a rough ride to the top.
Oh, gosh.
By the time we arrived, they were waiting for us and ready to explore the Amber Fort. The main entry to the fort is through the Sun Gate, leading right into the large courtyard, where you get a beautiful view of the Silla Devi Temple, positioned to get the first rays of the morning sun. To the left is Zenani Diorhi, the women's apartments where the queen mothers and the Raja's consorts lived along with their attendants. From the private chambers, they were able to watch what is going on in the courtyard below through lattice windows. They also had a stunning view of this floating flower bed built around 1600 in the middle of Moota Lake that used to grow saffron. Some historians say there was an ingenious pulley system that allowed the women to visit the garden directly from their balcony. The Mirror Palace is the most beautiful part of the Amber Fort, with walls and ceilings covered with thousands of pieces of reflecting glass. When struck by light, they sparkle and glow with colors of the rainbow. Construction of the fort began in 1592 under the direction of Raja Man Singh and is a blend of Hindu and Mughal influence. It's made of red sandstone and white marble, and as you've seen, it consists of a series of courtyards, palaces, halls, and gardens. In 1727, the center of power shifted to the valley below, now known as the city of Jaipur, with a population of some 3.1 million people. It is the capital city of the Rajasthan region and is known as the Pink City due to the fact that all buildings were painted pink, the color that signifies welcome, on the occasion of a visit by the Prince of Wales in 1853. This is the Palace of the Wind.
After a busy day of exploring this amazing country, we treated ourselves to a fancy meal at an after-dinner show featuring traditional music and dance. But the show can't begin until we put on our turbans.
At buffets in India, we were always encouraged to go back for more. The general plan of attack is to cover your plate with rice, curry, chicken tikka masala, or lamb korma. Place flatbread and some naan on top to be used as the ultimate scoopers for everything underneath. My favorite dessert was rice pudding, called kheer, and gulab jamun, syrup-soaked donuts flavored with saffron. And once served, the show began. The next morning, we were back on the bus on our way to Agra, a distance of some 140 miles. And from this vantage point, one can get a good look at what India is all about. And please excuse the reflections on some of the shots. It seems that the tiny Indian ladies do much of the outside work, much like in the other Asian countries that we have visited. And then, without warning, there it was in the midst of all that humanity and chaos, the Taj Mahal. But I wasn't surprised. As I explained earlier, This is India. It is as it is. Join Sharon and me tomorrow for a close-up look at the Taj Mahal, and then we'll board a plane to fly to the exotic country of Nepal. For Across the Fence in Agra, India, I'm Lynn Jarvis. Thank you for watching.